In Malaysia, the number of teenagers smoking and vaping is on the rise, raising concerns among parents.
通常呢，他们都会用这些平台去刷一些短视频啊，然后梗图。
In Malaysia, the number of teenagers smoking and vaping is on the rise, raising concerns among parents. In Malaysia, the number of teenagers smoking and vaping is on the rise, raising concerns among parents, teachers, and health officials. Recent studies show a worrying
Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth.
通常呢，他们都会用这些平台去刷一些短视频啊，然后梗图啊，所以就会发现到现在的青少年或者是小学生们都很懂热门的梗，那些老师不懂的，他们也会懂这样子，所以就可以发现到其实。
讲话下，一直讲先，一直讲，因为还没有讲话。有声音吗？
很小声，而且听得到你的声音，是吗？我懂是你的声音。
你大声，我讲话你也讲话。
Hello，
再讲话，讲话，有听到我声音吗？
有很大声。
你刚才有问到绝育怎么会我们声音这样大声？
他是叫我们自己要调，就是跟 YouTube 那边要调那个。
不是，我们外面的声音怎么会听到？
哦，他讲你要按 filter，然后按那个 noise 那边。
好啦，这么不可以6点进来，傻逼！诶，这边不会录到啥。
哪一个啊？Noise suppression。
然后就要调。
哪一个？随便七个先。讲话，你们讲话，我也讲话，我们要一起讲话。
Hello，讲话。
我要讲话，这个要帮忙听，有没有听到我的讲话？要听，我有没有听到我讲话？有没有讲话？我有没有声音？我有没有声音？还是有啊？我改另外一个。
我以前看不到这个牌子。
我讲话啊！我讲话。
几点听到？
等一下，我要讲话。如果我现在讲话会听到吗？讲话，我讲话。 Hello 杰宇 ，Hello 杰宇，Hello 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 杰宇，还是听到啊？就没有屁用啊，他的很大声听，
很大声。
就只要等下不要出声就是了咯，不然也没有屁用。是吗？
可是好像不会听到这个冷气。
是，要不要紧？等下就不要，你们不用讲话就可以了。OK， 应该是可以。来，我们 run 一轮。
让我去啊。
啊，
呀，这是708 right？
嗯。
那等一下买个酒头巾。
那你放一次那个音乐的就可以了，那个音乐的先，你放20秒就可以了。然后你举的时候，你给我们，你看我们就好。10th of September 2025. You're now tuning in to Youth Signal Live. I'm Mingxuan.
And I'm Winkei. Have you guys ever thought of what it means to be truly happy? What makes you happy, Mingxuan?
I think drinking chaji. Shout out to chaji, but they removed my favorite flavor, so I'm quite sad now. But I think hanging out with my friends actually make me happy too. What about you?
Same. I think doing things I love makes me happy too, such as sleeping and eating. Honestly, those two never fails me. But I guess happiness can mean so many different things for different people.
So speaking about being happy, we're diving into a really important topic tonight. Be you, be happy. Sounds simple, right? But for lots of Malaysian teenagers, nowadays, it's not that easy.
Yeah, I think they have it harder now. A few years ago, when I was a teen, social media was still not as influential and addictive as it is now.
Exactly. More issues are on the rise, such as peer pressure, social media, grades, and most importantly, family expectations. Many teens put on a smile, but deep down, they might be struggling. So tonight, we're peeling back the layers to find out what's really going on.
And we have got a special guest, a teenager who is brave enough to share their story with us. So stay with us. It's going to be an eye-opening conversation.
In Malaysia, the number of teenagers smoking and vaping is on the rise, raising concerns among parents, teachers, and health officials. Recent studies show a worrying trend. More minors are picking up the habit despite regulation. Authorities say the fight against teen smoking and vaping is now a top priority.
Kita hadir untuk mengangkat satu ikrar satu komitmen, satu tekad, satu azam yang melindungi generasi akan datang daripada bahaya produk merokok.
的确是越来越普遍的嘛。最近我看到我学校也是越来越多人吸电子烟了。
我觉得是很普遍啊，像也是有在那种厕所吸啊，东西那种，或者是在那种 IG 啊，他们可能发自拍就可以看到。
I think it's quite easy because sometimes when I go on a road trip, I can see a lot of vaping stores selling those vape stuff.
Currently, not that I know of where government have taken any action. Example, any campaign or any ban or share any knowledge about the negative side or negative effect.
我是认为是同才，然后还有那种社交媒体的那种渲染。我还是认为政府要管制。
我觉得压力大是一部分啊，然后还有是对这种电子烟的好奇心，就想尝试，可能就会有点上瘾。
我觉得是出于好奇，还有同辈的压力了，然后或者是朋友的影响之类的。I think definitely it need to be stricter because seems like currently it seems like it is very acceptable.
各方面都做好自己的角色，所以我觉得政府断绝是最重要的。
What advice would you give to younger students who may be tempted to try smoking or vaping for the first time?
Just don't.
Just don't. It's easy to try but hard to undo the damage. The government is stepping up to protect us.
You know, peer pressure gets a bad rep, but in this age, it's not always about being pushed into doing something wrong. We used to think that peer pressure involves smoking, drinking, or even taking drugs. But sometimes it's the silent pressure. Dressing a certain way, getting top marks, or posting the perfect photo online.
Oh yeah, the Instagram life. Everyone's smiling, everyone's traveling, and everyone's eating fancy brunch. But behind the scene, it's not always sunshine and rainbows.
Totally. And that's the gap we are exploring tonight. The difference between appearing happy and being truly happy. It's a very tough balance for teenagers today.
And for parents, teachers, and most importantly, friends, this isn't just a teen issue. It's about understanding what young people are facing so we can support them better. And now, let's welcome our guest. Okay, thank you so much for being here today. Can you give us a brief introduction of your name, your age, and where you are currently studying right now?
Hello, I'm Marcus. I'm currently 17 years old, taking IGCSE this year at the end of the year. And to be honest, I'm quite nervous because this is my first time attending the podcast like this, and it's a bit formal, so it's unlike what I have been experiencing before.
Don't worry. So this is a safe space. We just want to hear your perspective. So let's start it simple. So Marcus, when someone asks if you are happy, what is your first reaction?
I guess I'm always happy. I'm a very positive person. Every day when I go to school, I always have a smiling face on my face. Everyone think of me as a very nice person, and I think that's it.
Okay, that's a really honest, Marcus. Do you feel like most teens also hide what they are really feeling? Or is it more personal for you that you don't hide your feelings?
Yeah, for me, I don't really hide my feelings because I have friends that can listen to me when I'm sad. And then every time when I talk to them, they always comfort me and all those. But I always think that I'm not that privileged like other people. Sometimes they don't have people to listen to, and obviously they hide their feelings like that. So yeah, I think that's true that teens always hide their feelings.
Yeah, okay. So talking about friends also, what kind of pressures do you think you feel most strongly? Is it friends, social media, or school? Which is most important?
For me, school is not really a big issue because it's just academic wise. But I think sometimes social media is a bit, because you always expect people to think highly of you. You try to hide your bad things from them, everything else. Especially as a teenager, everybody wants to show their best to the society, right? So that's what I think.
I totally understand. It can feel like everyone is living their best life, but actually it's just a highlights, not a full picture. So thank you for sharing that, Marcus. I think a lot of teens listening right now can relate to what you just said. And speaking of that, do you ever feel like you have got to put on a happy face even when inside it's different?
Obviously, that's quite normal for most of the people, especially for people who like me attending international school, because the atmosphere there is a bit like it's unlike other people. 对啊，这个东西我其实不能讲给
不用紧，不用紧，这个可以等下。
这个我在想。
Okay. So going back to social media, which you mentioned you feel the most pressure about, how do you think scrolling through social media and seeing how other people live their lives affect you personally or other teens in general?
For me, I don't really come from a very rich family, and then I think sometimes it's a bit hard to relate to what they are feeling to. Like sometimes people can go travel everywhere in the year, and then for me, my family always do like 1 times or 2 times maybe in a year only. So I don't really relate to how they are living such a very nice life. And I think for most of the teens, the same thing because not everyone is rich, right?
Yeah.
So I totally get what you mean. Social media can really mess with how we feel. So for the next question, do you ever try taking breaks from social media? And if so, does it help?
Most of the time I use the social media a lot, but during exams especially, I won't use my social media because it's a very big distraction for me. And then every time when I use the social media, I will get distracted by it, and then 2 hours gonna be wasted on it like that. So yeah,
So that's what you feel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So no problem. So here's the last question for our first segment before the break. What do you usually do when you feel that the pressure is getting too heavy? What would you say you do to relieve yourself?
I will probably go to sleep,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe play some games to distract myself. After I feel better, then I'll come back to work.
Yeah, so I think we also like to use sleep as an escape mechanism. So thank you for being so open to all of us for this segment. And I think many teenagers that are listening right now can relate to what you have just said.
Exactly. So let's take a quick break. But when we come back, we will talk solutions. How can teenagers push back against peer pressure and find real happiness? You guys can drop your questions in the comments or live chat below too regarding what would you like to ask our guest, Marcus, about peer pressure and happiness.
Welcome back to Youth Signal Live. Before the break, our guest Marcus gave us a real look into what it feels like to be a teenager today. Before moving on, let's take a look at the comments we have gathered. Winkei, will you do the honors of reading out the comments for our guests?
Alright, so for the first one from username called Agnes Tan, she wants to know that, Marcus, do you feel social media makes teens happier or does it bring more stress?
For me, I think it's about how the teenager views the social media. So like if you are sometimes when you think of people and then you think like they are living a better life than you, if your mindset is like, oh, they are always living a better than me and I'm feeling so bad about myself not living better than them, I think that's not a really good impact of social media. However, if you have a good mindset and you think that, oh, I want to be like them in the future, then that's going to bring a positive impact for them.
Yeah, thank you so much for your insight. And here's another comment from user 12345. From this user, the user is asking you, what social media do you use and what are your socials? Yeah.
I use Instagram, WhatsApp, Reddit a bit, Facebook a lot. And
Teenagers still use Facebook, yeah?
yeah,
I thought only my parents use Facebook.
Yeah.
and also
Okay, we can see that.
Thank you so much, Marcus, for your truly honest answers. Now let's focus on the bright side. What can actually help?
So, if you could wave a magic wand, ding, 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 what's one thing you wish adults, such as parents or even teachers, were understood better about what you go through?
I think it's a very good question because most teenagers suffer from mental health issues, and then most of the time their parents are always overworking, and then I think these have a very bad, very negative impact on them. So their parents should probably go through more with them and then talk with them more and help them go out of it.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And if another teenager came up to you and said, I feel pressured to fit in, I don't know how to deal with it. So what advice would you give them? Have you ever felt that there is the pressure to fit in as well?
Like I said just now, I think I'm quite privileged to have a group of friends that doesn't really think of, like, I don't have to think of how to fit in every time. So for me, I okay, to be honest, I can't really relate to it, but if there's an advice I'm gonna give to them, I'm gonna tell them like, you should find someone better. You should try to have a better group of friends so you don't feel pressure to fit in, because that's the meaning of friend, right? Like, if you don't feel good when you're accompanying your friends, I think that's not really what friends means.
Yeah, I think good friends are very rare and very hard to find, but one day you will find your big group of friends. So for everyone listening, resilience isn't about never feeling pressure. It's about bouncing back, finding friends who lift you up, and being okay with being different. We are coming to an end, and for the listeners, again, feel free to drop more questions for Marcus.
In Malaysia, the number of teenagers smoking and vaping is on the rise, raising concerns among parents, teachers, and health officials. Recent studies show a worrying trend. More minors are picking up the habit despite regulation. Authorities say the fight against teen smoking and vaping is now a top priority.
Kita hadir untuk mengangkat satu ikrar, satu komitmen, satu tekad, satu azam yang melindungi generasi akan datang daripada bahaya produk
So from the comments that we have gathered from our YouTube live section, I see many interesting questions that are popping up. Here's the first question for Marcus from user Jerry TYS. He would like to ask, why do you think you are able to find a very good group of friends?
For me, having friends are just like a natural instinct. Like the first moment you walk into a classroom, lecture hall, you would think that
lecture hall.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I will see that.
突然间变20分，包了包成 Jerry 就坑着我了。Okay.
You will naturally go to find a friend group to like have someone to help you or something, and then you're on a social with people, right? So that's the first thing you're gonna do when you go into a new place. That's what I think.
Okay.
So, wait, we still got time for one last question. So from a username called Lee Chini, he said that she also experienced of having bad friends like that. So do you have any story that stands out? And can you tell me how you feel and how it really affected you?
For me, I think, first of all, I think having a friend that suits you is very, very important. Like for me, I used to have a friend, his name is Jiaching, and
Okay. Very good story.
he's very ignorant, and then everything people say is like he doesn't listen, and then he is very has a very bad personality, and he backstabs people a lot. That's why I don't really be friends with him after that. After I figure out that such a bad person he is. One particular case is that there was a time I was sick and I didn't come to school, and then he asked other people not to go with me in the assignment group.
没有 assignment，
assignment 一样啊，中学我也是有。Okay.
So do you think being a good friend means that you must be able to listen to others properly, and also you must be a good listener, and the others must listen to you as well? Do you think that's a meaning of a good friend?
Yeah, obviously like what I said just now. So for me, if someone talk to me about what they feel, what they think, I will listen to them.
Yeah.
So I think I'm a good friend, I guess.
Okay, so thank you, Marcus, so much for joining us on Youth Signal Live today.
So tonight, we learned something important. Happiness isn't about pretending everything is fine. It's about being yourself, even when it's tough. So whether you are a teenager or someone supporting them, remember, encourage real conversation and celebrate authenticity over perfection.
You've been listening to Youth Signal Live. Remember, be you, be happy. Good night and take care.
Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do.
Okay, okay. Now.
Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room with.
In Malaysia, the number of teenagers smoking and vaping is on the rise, raising concerns among parents, teachers, and health.
通常呢，他们都会用这些平台去刷一些短视频啊，然后梗图啊，所以就会发现到现在的青少年或者是小学生们都很懂热门的梗，那些老师不懂的，他们也会懂这样子，所以就可以发现到其实TikTok 啊，还有这些社交网络，其实已经在渗透他们的日常生活中了。学生啊，就可能会被排挤，就是他们可能不在某一些的聊天群聊里面，所以这就导致他们对自己非常的不自信，然后导致了很多心灵上的问题。
当然，父母亲本身也要有这个醒觉，不只是教育孩子罢了，自己本身没有一个榜样。因为我们看到的，现在人人都有一个手机在手上，我们也可以看到餐桌上每个人拿的都是手机，家人的这个共同的联系已经减少了很多。在未来的教程篇课里面，应该要有教育老师还有大人到小孩的这个部分都需要怎样使用这个多媒体的安全措施。好像可能很多人不知道人性的弱点在哪里，或者可以甚至我们自己，我们也不知道我们的人性的弱点在哪里，所以有时候我们也会不小心陷入这个所谓多姿多彩的虚拟世界。
我有用 TikTok、Instagram 还有小红书，主要就是拉视频、看搞笑的东西。有时候也会跟朋友在这些社交平台上面聊天，一天大概会用2到3个小时这样。
因为我很喜欢看直播，所以我会用 TikTok 来观看他们直播。根据他们的开播时间，基本上是2个小时到3个小时起步。
觉得蛮有用的。时间限制的话，就可以提醒我不要刷太久。刷太久的话，对眼睛也不是很好。举报功能的话，至少可以让那些比较奇奇怪怪的账号消失。希望他们一直以为我没有好好读书，只是顾着玩手机罢了。因为他们都不了解我是怎样用这些社交媒体，我也是会用来学习的。像我会开 YouTube 来学 ML 啊、笔记笔啊这些比较难的科目，没有完全像他们想的那样，就是整天只顾着玩。
我觉得大人还是需要知道自己的孩子在社交媒体上看了什么，所以我有时候会跟他们分享我浏览的内容，比如搞笑视频还是生活相关的类似基本常识，我都会分享给他们。
In Malaysia, the number of teenagers smoking and vaping is on the rise, raising concerns among parents, teachers, and health officials. Recent studies show a worrying trend. More minors are
昨晚有一个感叹号在荧幕，吓死我。
其实刚刚有一个在 last round 最后一句 OK，A2 完了。Okay, so thank you for the good break. So from the comments, we can see that many different interesting questions that are popping up for our guest Marcus. Here's the first question for Marcus from user 12345. This user asks, Marcus, 等一下我吹不出来哦。
所以我才开我的
OK 啊，
电脑。
不用紧啊，不用吹啊，
不要啦
随便等人家回答。OK。
然后到下面你讲 Thank you Marcus。
Yeah. Okay. So thank you, Marcus, for joining us on Youth Signal Live today.
Yay.
Woo! It was a very good pleasure talking to you and listening to insights from a teenager.
So tonight we learned something important. Happiness isn't about pretending everything is fine. So it's about being yourself even when it's tough. So whether you are a teenager or someone supporting them, remember, encourage real conversations and celebrate authenticity over perfection.
You've been listening to Youth Signal Live. Remember, be you, be happy. Good night and take care.
Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know.
Yes. 可以，你切就可以了。
会听到我们？
没有，
其实
OK，
如果 live 的时候这样的话，挺不错啊。
很好。
那 Jerry 就冲进来，
什么？什么东西？因为我会。
他是 YouTube，他是因为之前我们那场有玩那个什么，因为有那场我们上课的时候，他们上完课过后刚玩。
Uni 他们周末会上到Jerry 的课。
是 Jerry 吗？还是一个老师？
应该不是 Jerry，
他们也
没有
是。我 Andrew 不是 Jerry。
啊，没有人选 Andrew，Andrew 是谁？那个小丑老师。
哦，
那个真的没有人选。
那个直接然后 Uni 被骂。
然后我们每天玩游戏的时候，玩最动他哦，话说我讲的是 Andrew。
我们叫他小丑直接，可是他踢不到嘛，现在
是啊，现在变剪了。哈哈，很喜欢流汗。
这个是什么来着？
给你information。
还好没读 architecture。
你刚说你一直滴滴滴，有没？有。教养啊，有滴滴滴哦，那种。
是我是吧？
不是，是你，不是你。
哇，我很喜欢转椅子的嘞。
我会打你。
很喜欢转椅子嘞。
打你也看不到哦。OK， 看不到。
后面的。
我会打。
哦，看不到。耶，我不知道我在发什么。哦，好紧张哦。现在几点了？因为这边写 live in。
Because I'm happy. Clap along.